Hi, this is Kim,
This is Andy.
and we're going to read to you from the Urantia book,
First,
365 Days of Walking the Red Road by Terry Jean.
you go.
Me go. Today's July 3rd.
Ready.
Okay, so this is from Chief Flying Hawk, Oglala Sioux, 1852 to 1931.
Mm.
Indians know better how to live. Indians know better how to live. Nobody can be in good health if he does not have all the time fresh air, sunshine, and good water,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, contrast to the white version is like some people can uh, live on fresh air, sunshine, and good water. Other people, don't need it as much. Right?
Right.
Is that kind of true? Okay, I don't know. I feel that. Okay, did you know the majority of Native Americans are of mixed heritage? Mixed heritage. A full-blooded Indian is very rare. Native people may have European, Asian, or African blood in their lineage. Others mix with other native nationalities, some of which are not federally recognized. Okay, okay, thank you for that. Next we have The Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, translation by Derek Lin.
To know that you do not know is highest. To not know but think you know is flawed.
Okay, so I'll read through here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to know that you do not know means recognizing your own ignorance. This is a good thing because it motivates you to continue seeking answers and helps you from becoming presumptuous and arrogant. The opposite of this is being ignorant but assuming that you possess knowledge. This is a flaw that many of us have. I'm thinking of the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's been
Mhm.
well documented and researched, the Dunning-Kruger effect. In this chapter, I translate the character Bing as fault or flaw. Many translators translate it as disease or illness instead, which is the dictionary definition as well as the common usage, but in this case, it doesn't quite fit. When Lao Tzu uses Bing, he is specifically referencing human errors and character flaws, being sick or defective in some aspect of one's thinking. This context still exists in modern Chinese. For instance, when we say Mao Bing, we are talking specifically about a fault or a problem.
Only when one recognizes the fault as a fault can one be without fault.
Okay? Because you have to it's all about getting outside of it so you can see, you can observe objectively the workings of your own mentality and how that's interacting with the context of the environment that it's playing out in.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to get outside and observe that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is only when we see a problem clearly and recognize that we need to do something about it that we can begin to free ourselves of it. Right? Exactly.
The sages are without fault because they recognize the fault as a fault.
Sages are human too. They make mistakes just like everyone else. What makes them different is that they look at themselves with the clarity of detachment, whereas most of us are blind to our own faults. Because they are naturally humble, sages do not automatically assume they must be correct. When they recognize that they have made a mistake or manifested a problem, they take action to address the issue.
That is why they are without fault.
People who know that they do not know and take steps to learn will eventually acquire the knowledge they need. Similarly, if we can monitor ourselves, recognize our faults, and work on correcting them, we will ultimately rid ourselves of them. So this is, and I don't think anybody's really without incapable of making mistakes. You know what I mean? Even
Mhm.
these guys are human. So it's like, okay, so sometimes you're making mistakes just because you're plumbing the depths of, you're trying to see what's out there. When you're meeting somebody new, you ask them questions because you don't know and you want to know.
Mhm.
And or you want to see what's there for you to care about, what's there for you to invest in. So you can make a mistake and trip somebody up and say, oh, I didn't know, I'm sorry, that's sensitive topic, something you don't want to talk about. It's okay. I won't bring that up again, like that. That's all. Right. And then
Reminds me.
that's an honest mistake, how easy to forgive. And okay, you have something to say, go ahead, it reminds you.
That reminds me of Donald Rumsfeld when he said, "We have known knowns, we have known unknowns, and we have unknown unknowns."
That that's just jibber jabber. Honestly, it's like that's somebody who probably doesn't know a lot and is trying to make sense, trying to be something they're not. I think. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Known unknowns. There's things that we know.
That we don't know, and there are unknown unknowns, things that we don't even know that we don't know.
I suppose there are.
Anyway,
Okay.
the Urantia book, paper 50.
Paper 51, section 2, the transit of the planetary atoms. Okay.
ADAMs.
Right. So these are like Adams and Eve,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So where they come from and what they do.
Mhm.
Okay. Upon receipt of the news that another inhabited world has attained the height of physical evolution, the system sovereign convenes with the core of material sons and daughters on the system capital, and following the discussion of the needs of such an evolutionary world, two of the volunteering group, an Adam and an Eve of the senior core of material sons, are selected to undertake the adventure, to submit to the deep sleep preparatory to being enseraphimed and transported from their home of associated service to the new realm of new opportunities and new dangers. So that's theirs. It's a dangerous mission, especially the ones that came here because they knew this was a planet in default and they were afraid of screwing up here in the beginning. But then, the Nodites, the followers of Lucifer in Caligastia, they kind of capitalized on that ignorance because they were kind of cut off from communication.
Mhm.
So, and they felt this was dangerous, but they didn't know how to best circumvent that, how to go forward. Instead of like sticking to the original plan, they thought, well, maybe things have changed enough for us to try something else. Maybe we could just try something else.
Mhm.
And then it wound up being what it was. But,
Mhm.
um, yeah, okay, you start here.
Adams and Eves are semi material creatures and, as such, are not transportable by seraphim. They must undergo dematerialization on the system capital before they can be enseraphimed for transport to the world of assignment.
Mm.
The transport seraphim are able to effect such changes in the material sons and in other semi material beings as enable them to be enseraphimed and thus to be transported through space from one world or system to another. About 3 days of standard time are consumed in this transport preparation, and it requires the cooperation of a life carrier to restore such a dematerialized creature to normal existence upon arrival at the end of the seraphic transport journeys.
So this is so like Star Trek,
Mhm.
that they're actually dissolving their body,
Mhm.
right? To have it because these guys have material bodies. They're material sons and daughters, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so they have material bodies, and they're up there in the headquarters of the local universe, and where they've been hanging out in material form,
Mhm.
but they have to be beamed or like,
Mhm. And seraphim.
well, in seraphim it means your angel is around you to transport you. That's like your ferry ride.
But these have to be dematerialized
Right. So that's like
for the seraphim
for the
ride.
yeah. So then the life carrier comes to make sure they can get their parts put back. So it's not just a simple thing where you press the button, energize, like Star Trek, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need really conscious, very talented beings that no one else can do this kind of job. So they need a life carrier. Yeah, they need a seraphim,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Right.
to do these things. So
Mhm.
it's not just like anybody can do it,
Right.
you know. But anyway, it's
Not mass
interesting.
transit.
No.
While there is this dematerializing technique for preparing the atoms for their transit from Jerusalem to the evolutionary worlds, there is no equivalent method for taking them away from such worlds unless the entire planet is to be emptied, in which event emergency installation of the dematerialization technique is made for the entire salvable population.
Right.
If some physical catastrophe should doom the planetary residents of an evolving race, the Melchizedeks and the life carriers would install the technique of dematerialization for all survivors, and by seraphic transport, these beings would be carried away to the new world prepared for their continuing existence.
Right.
The evolution of a human race, once initiated on a world of space, must proceed quite independently of the physical survival of that planet. But during the evolutionary ages, it is not otherwise intended that a planetary Adam or Eve shall leave their chosen world.
Okay. So what are you getting from that? That we the survivors are going to survive even if the planet doesn't survive. We're going to be like dematerialized and stuff. So it's like we're safe from that. Even though I really want the planet to survive and I want us to quit hurting the planet, it's like
Well, there'll come a day when the planet won't survive.
there would naturally come a day when the planet would be absorbed into the sun or whatever.
But we're being
We're
advised that that
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily be the end of the
That-
human race.
Right, that's not going to
here.
affect us necessarily. So we're really attached here. Of course, we're
But the
attached to our home
But
here.
the dematerializing could take a number of forms. I'm thinking suspended animation for space transport.
Okay, sure. You're drawing connection with what's
So-
possible here.
So they may be giving us the techniques that we need through our own discovery of what it means to be in suspended animation.
Okay. So that's something that we're engineering ourselves. This whole idea of suspended animation, and we're working on that, and that's okay. But that's
If we don't get there, then the um, challenge would be, well, we gave you the tools to
okay.
dematerialize from Earth. You chose not to proceed forward with them.
Okay, well, that's an interesting idea, but I don't know if that's what it's really saying. I think that
It's just my idea.
okay, yeah, it's a good idea, but I think because here there is no equivalent method for taking them away from such worlds unless the entire planet is to be emptied, in which emergency installation of dematerialization techniques. So like we come to the point where there's no reversible, there's the planet is ending. There's nothing, no way to reverse it. They come down, they bring up some life carriers and some hardware, maybe, so to be able to like dematerialize all the people here, and they don't know all of a sudden. That's the rapture, dude. That's a freaking rapture, huh?
People just disappear.
And then you go to another planet, so you're brought to somewhere safe.
Or metaphorically, transports have been prepared and procedures for suspended animation are being implemented.
Okay.
And people are just disappearing.
But you know, and I know that's only for rich people.
Presently.
Yeah, huh?
Presently.
You think so? You're such
Well,
an
a
optimist.
lot
You
of
think people are
things
gonna like?
that exist today at one time were just for rich people.
Okay, that's true. But we're talking about before the whole world is blown up. Like like don't look up. It's only the few people
Right.
that got those transport pods to the other planet and got to be, like, and they're all waking up. It's like, oh, this is great. Like what did they say? Only 27% of the people on board didn't are dead. That's great. It's like, shut up. Um, that's just, yeah, but no, there's better ways to do these things. And I guess that the comfort is wherever, I think that's has more to do with the rapture, so that wherever you are, if you believe in God and you're trying to be a better person, unless you're like using God, that's like the thing. There's got to be, that's not going to wash. If you're just using this to look good for other people and stuff,
Right.
and using God as a tool, kind of.
Right.
Okay.
On arrival at their planetary destination, the material son and daughter are rematerialized under the direction of the life carriers.
Mm-hmm.
This entire process takes 10 to 28 days of Urantia time.
Right.
The unconsciousness of the seraphic slumber continues throughout this entire period of reconstruction. When the reassembly of the physical organism is completed, these material sons and daughters stand in their new homes and on their new worlds, to all intents and purposes, just as they were before submitting to the dematerialization process on Jerusalem.
But still, they don't have, like, it's not like everything there is the same as it was on the other planet. It can't be.
Right.
Yeah.
Urantia is not Jerusalem.
But they're going like, what happened? Where are we? Who is this? Who are you? What should we do? We got this. Now we have to live like,
It's like coming out of suspended animation.
oh yeah, in this world where everybody's, uh, you know, probably, I don't know, probably naked and probably like needs to eat. There's the river. There's okay, we need to eat. How are we going to do that? We got to go kill the buffalo or the three-legged aurochs beast or whatever that is with the,
Right.
with 6 tails and 3 legs and 4 digestive tracts.
Get on with it.
And we can make a fire. You guys remember how to make a fire? See, is the people here, like on Don't Look Up or whatever, you put them in that place and they're gonna die anyway. And they're not gonna know anything what
Right.
to do.
Right.
You put some natives from Rosebud on there, dude, they'll survive. They live. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think so?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's all for today. Thank you very much. This is loads of fun.
4th of July.
4th
weekend.
of July weekend. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. Yeah. Today's the 3rd of July.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.